Yes, guys, and welcome back to another Opposition preview. It's the big one, Chelsea taking on Arsenal at Stamford Bridge, of course, for tomorrow's game, 5:30 kickoff. And we're joined by a very special guest, JPT, of course, from Keeping It Real Chelsea. JPT, what are you telling me, my man? You all good?
Good. I'm tripping because I'm outside, by the way, but
Yeah.
it's a nice day. I can't, gotta take advantage if I can. I'm just tripping out because man's had the whole Requiem for a Dream song. All I'm thinking is that scene. But I'm doing good, my bro. It's been a while, but hope
Yeah,
you're
man.
doing well. And yo, my guys, it's finally here. It's finally here, and I'm glad how it's panning out to be this weekend because it had this game been like the first 3 or 4 games of the season, I'm like, well, I'm not gonna bother. But now it's like I think we're catching both teams on good sides, and I know you're excited after your last win.
Yeah.
So it's, oh man, but yeah,
Yeah, 100%, man. But before we do start, make sure you go and give a sub to Keeping It Real Chelsea. It's quite a few of you who run the channel now, isn't it? Or is it?
yeah, it's. Oh, sorry about my fault. Um, but yeah, like I changed the name because one, at a time when it was just like when I started for myself, but now I'm like, you know what? Let me make it like a panel, like a group of
Mhm.
people, and then like it's just like that was like, well, I don't want it to be like I know this is where I started. Like, let me acknowledge the change and change the name. And yeah, so it's me, CFCOG, which I think you've been in some chats or some streams with him as well. Sometimes CFC deals and Latimus Prime, which good people to talk with. Deals is with the bands and Prime with the surprise opinions, man. Like he was one of the first people who was like, I think this whole who did he call it? That was like, yeah, oh, Mason Mount. He was like one of the first one. Mason Mount was like, this guy's not. He's gonna leave. Chilwell's overrated. He thinks like Rudiger is an overhyped player for Chelsea. I'm like, man, this man's
Uh,
got some cojones on him to say that. But hey, that's why I have him on the panel, man. But yeah, that's the name of the change or change the name.
Fair play, man. Yeah, guys. So I said, go to the pin title. You click the blue out, and then takes you right to the channel. Hit the sub button to them. But yeah, let's get started, JBT, man. Let's start off with Chelsea first of all. As a Chelsea fan, what you made of spending more money in the window, your transfer business this season, and how your season started with, of course, Pochettino as your new manager as well, man.
I mean, also I'll start with the manager part because look, let's be honest, and also why I couldn't change the name to Keeping It Real because like I always try to keep it honest, keep it real. Like I might not be the popular opinion from Chelsea fans, but just my opinion and not just me being real. But look, I wasn't too excited about the whole Poch being our new manager. Yes, of course, there's like we should have Tuchel. That's not gonna happen. Tuchel's not coming back. Um, but I know we were all looking at like Nagelsmann was like a name that should have been with with this relatively young squad, and then if not him, then Luis Enrique was the one. Poch was like the option, like last kind of choice out of the names. Actually, last choice in all the world would have probably been Frank Lampard. Let's keep it honest, man. Him and Gerrard just look great midfielders for England. Shit managers.
Yeah.
It's it is what it is. But Poch, I saw him always as a guy that's like here to develop, but not win. So
Mhm.
yes, I'm like when he came in and we made all these new signings and Cuckoo came in, with the injury of course, finally got Moises Caicedo 6 months too late and 30-40 million pounds more expensive than it needed to be. Thank you for that, Liverpool. And getting all these younger players, and it's like he can develop them. But can we really win something with? You know how tough the Premier League is.
Mhm.
It's a grown man's league, and I'm
Yeah.
not saying that as a biased thing, but winning with kids is. I rather have an easier time freezing fire, man. Like that's just me. But yeah, but with the money spent, a lot of money spent. Uh, I think we made some wise like decisions, like some needed decisions. I should say that, but I think we bought one too many kids, man. Like we're getting people joke like these are football manager names. David Washington, Brazilian at that, Was he needed? Angelo, I know Angelo was another name that like people were excited for, but it's like unless you're gonna make an immediate impact in our starting 11, was this really needed? Like Kendrick Paez, ooh, I feel like a creep saying this. I can't wait till they turn 18. Out of context, that sounds terrible. But Kendrick Paez for international, he's been great. Moises Caicedo, the
Yeah.
connection with him is, but we have to wait till 2025 when this team can, if they stick together, can really do something. But to expect everything to happen right now, and I predicted a top 4 finish, maybe top 5 because of this whole Champions League format change. But it's expecting a lot so quickly in a league that's. I mean, look, you see how your team is. You see how
Yeah.
City is treble winning.
Yeah.
You see how Newcastle's rising. You see how Villa's rising. You see how Liverpool looks like they're back in. It's like back in like the COVID days or the pre-COVID days. It's like Liverpool, City. And then you see how Brighton's rising. And then you can see as easily like when the poor decisions happen under the wrong people, you see how far Manchester United have fallen. So it can, I think we're on a rise, and right now, like honestly, we should be over United at this point. They just got lucky in their last win somehow. Um, it's gonna take some time to gel, but also we have to give Pochettino some time because you see
Mm.
how the fan base is. The second that we lose like 5 games or like we don't win, back-to-back games, I want him out. I want this man out. I'm like, okay, and who replace him with? And then they just start getting fairy tale names, man. Like I'm like, it's not gonna happen right now. It's Poch, or we have to wait for Nagelsmann to leave the Germany job that he just got, and
Mm.
that seems unlikely. Um, but right now, it's yeah. I mean, it took some time, and I think since we got and started utilizing Cole Palmer more, which I don't know why we took so long to just incorporate him in the squad, but it's looked like now there's more comfort in the attack. Like
Yeah.
our biggest criticism, what was it? Like we can't finish our dinner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now it's like I'm looking at this squad. I'm like, if we had the conversion rate we had since even not even from Brighton, but I would say like from Fulham, Burnley, like the 3-game win streak that we have going on right now, we would probably be in 5th or 6th. And that's, I mean, like I'm just did like the math, and I'm like, the only thing really we should have, like, if we had the conversion rate even on point, was West Ham, because we got embarrassed by West Ham. Let's
Yeah.
be like honest on that one. But yeah, if not, we would have had like we would have gotten a win from was it Forest? We would have drew 2 more, or would have got 2 more points from Bournemouth. We would have I would say draw with Villa, because if we hadn't gone a man down, I think we see that as a draw.
Yeah.
But either way, we would be in 5th, if not tied for 5th with Villa. So, and then would you say we have a different conversation about Pochettino and this youth project and how Bowley is looked at now as an owner? I mean, I'm not saying he was like, oh, he's going to take us to like title contention.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying the narrative could have changed easily if we had this team looking like right now, because we don't lose like the Forest game, which again, a game if we just finish our dinner, taking 3 points. Same with Bournemouth, and then at least a draw for Villa, because I give Unai so much so much respect in that club, what he's doing right now. But it is what it is.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, obviously, just regarding on Pochettino, right? Because you lot are currently 12th, yeah, I'm pretty sure, in the league. You've lost to teams like Nottingham Forest this season. We were in a similar situation when Arteta first came in. He had us 15th at one point, and we losing like against Burnley. We lost about 8 games in a row, and everyone was calling, me included, by the way, calling for his head to get sacked. But you had a few fans, and the whole narrative been in Arteta was trust the process. Is it similar with Pochettino? Like, do you think Chelsea fans will get behind this? Will get behind this manager, even if last season you finished 12th or whatever it was. If you don't get Europe this season, is it time to sack him straight away, or is it like the whole process? Because little Arteta has done with Arsenal now, just because we gave him a little bit of time and a bit of money to spend.
And it's funny you bring that up, because that time I think his first full season, and I remember he started picking up that the win streak, because you went from winless in your first 8, I think.
Yeah.
And then you picked up that win in the League Cup. I don't know who it was, but I was like, if he hadn't won that game, or even if he didn't win that game and give him that little bit of extra time, because I think that started like a win streak for you guys, or you started getting like more points than expected. That would have been it for ourselves. Like if this guy goes, oh, and if he loses this game or if he ties, he's out. And look what happened. Yes, then you could have asked for his head again. When you finish, well, that was the season you guys finished eighth, because he finished the second half of the season when he took charge
Yeah.
in eighth. But that, I won't say that's even his fault, because picking up the slack is what it is. But yeah, you gave him, or it earned him time. It got him there. And the thing is, you guys are not really known to like throw away managers, because since Ferguson, this is your second manager.
Third with Emery as well.
No. I'm saying like the second after, like, you had Emery, and then you have
after
Arteta.
Emery, it was just Arteta. Yeah.
So I'm saying, bro, we went through 3 managers in one season.
Jeez.
Like
Yeah, you did, yeah.
But I would say this. I would say, like, I'm glad we went through 3 managers, or I won't say. I mean, if the third would have been anyone else except from Lampard or Gerrard, I would have been fine, because Lampard can't do it, man. He barely did it with Derby, like in the championship, and then he look what he did. He almost relegated 2 teams in one season alone. Like, this man is like, yes, just leave your legacy on the pitch as a player.
Yeah.
Put the X's and O's away. Don't stop it. Like, that's the thing. Because, like, it's not all good players turn out to be good managers, and sometimes it could be like the mediocre players. I mean, I know they brought up what is it, Mourinho, Pep, as, like, players, because they weren't like the Ronaldos or Messi's of their time, but they were like maybe I would say like like post Arsenal, or like Cazorla level. But that's just like, I can't think of a good analogy. But yeah, that's the thing. We need to give him at least this year to see where we finish, like, and how we can progress, because if things are really clicking right now, which I'm not saying it is, because these are wins from teams we're expected to win. I know from last season nothing was certain, but like, Chelsea versus Fulham, that's before with Tuchel, and before then it's like that's an easy win. Same with Burnley, that should be an easy win. I mean, yes, with Dyche at the time, but with Company and this whole side right now, it looks like a mess. And then Brighton, I won't even give it to, like, it's Brighton, because they didn't play with the strongest 11. So that's why, like, let's just hold it. Like, yes, I like the fact that we look more comfortable up top. We look more like, taking advantage of our chances, finishing our dinner. So if that mentality carries on to this weekend, we could be in for a good old classic London derby game, like it's supposed to be.
I want to ask you, obviously, about the form you've had this season, and do you think you've been a little bit done up? Because I look at your injuries, man. You got so many players out, and Nkunku. Have you even seen him play yet for Chelsea?
No, he got injured at the preseason aside, no, because he got injured at the very last game of the preseason versus Dortmund, in a game that, I'm like, first of all, the pitch was. I really try to limit the cursing on anyone else's streams, but yo, did you? I mean, if you haven't seen the pitch, just look up just Chelsea Dortmund preseason highlights. It looks like they just played a rugby game there, bro. Like, it was garbage. And then also, you have Liverpool as your first game of the season. Play. I can't even say play the kids, because that's our starting 11. Play the babies and play Gilchrist, play Mason Burstro, play anyone else, but leave like the main key guys alone. But besides that, I mean, when Nkunku was there, that it looked like everything was just fitting together. And it's hard to tell, because you can easily say, but that's preseason. That's not competitive. But you can at least see the playing style, and you can see, like, when they click, it's a good thing to see, like, at least what they can bring to the table versus a good team. Which, without him, we were missing that 10, like that number 10 spot, and then it didn't look like we were clicking until we got Cole Palmer. But, like, it's like, as you mentioned, it's funny that the whole Manchester United investigation, like what's going on with all these injuries. I'm like, man, you guys got like 3 or 4. We have a whole 11
Yeah,
with bench
yeah,
injured.
it's insane.
Um,
Even Romeo Lavia as well, your new signing. How long
we
is he
start.
out for now?
Um, I think they said there was a setback. I mean, then again, with these setback rumors, they were saying all. I kept, man, your fan base would kept pacing like changes out, like Chelsea meltdown, like. He was just training like 5 minutes ago. Where's this source coming from? But yeah, no, it's Lavia. We signed him. He got injured. I mean, I think he was either coming off an injury. I remember them saying like he wasn't at 100%, but whatever progress he had, he re-injured himself. We haven't seen him play yet, but luckily, Caicedo has finally found that role like in the midfield, which I think because I know with once if Lavia does come in, I think he'll be doing like the actual like six role, and then Caicedo could be like a 6/8. Because right now Fernandez is the one that's kind of been slacking, and Conor Gallagher, I'm surprised is actually doing as well as he is doing under Pochettino, and he's even been playing as a 10, playing like as like a disruptive like 8. Um, so it's happy days for him. But yeah, a lot of the signings or like key players are out. Which yeah, Jackson also another one that he's had a wrist surgery.
Oh yeah,
It's Fofana is the one for me. It's just like wow, that was an expensive injury.
yeah, mate. I thought Fofana's a quality centre back for you guys, and I remember he got injured for Leicester,
Yep.
and he was out for ages, and now he's got injured for you guys again. He's very injury prone, man. But yeah,
Yeah.
so do you think that's one of the main reasons why you started off this poor? Because you got so many players out, and Poch doesn't really have his proper system yet at Chelsea.
I would say that maybe not so poor. Again, I think it was just how we weren't finishing like up top. Like it was like how we were going up in the attack, and then our conversions was just horrible at the time. Like you see like our like goals made per game versus like XG. It's a quite a gap. And it means like we're producing stuff. Like things in any team, if you give it the same opportunity for an Arsenal, uh, a Liverpool, a Newcastle, City side, um, they will put those chances away easily, and that's what separates the men from the boys type of thing. If you can't finish, and you can't use it as an excuse of like, oh, like yeah, but if I took this chance and we would have won, like it's reality is that did you get the 3 points? And I think that's the approach, or I think you guys are coming at, and like what I've been hearing a lot from the Arsenal fan base is that like because look how you guys have started in early on in the season. That um, not that it was bad, it wasn't like you expected more from your side. At least I think.
Mm,
And then also trying to justify why Kai Havertz has a spot in the 11 when you look like a hindrance. And maybe like he finally got his goal. Granted, it was from a penalty kick where he's not a designated penalty taker, and then had an assist versus City, which again I think whoever I think was it Ake that it came off of
yeah,
the
okay,
goal, the
yeah,
deflection.
okay, deflection.
I think he deserves the assist more than Kai. I mean, like, but like I said, it's a goal's a goal, deflection, whatever. Yeah, can't do coulda, woulda, shoulda.
I mean,
But yeah, for me, it's not the injuries more; it's just the conversion.
yeah, conversion. Fair enough. I mean, talking about Kai Havertz quickly, right? I bet you was buzzing. Well, actually, I was going to ask you about him. What was your thoughts on him at Chelsea? Because I'll be honest, I watched the guy for 3 years for you lot, and wasn't good enough. For me, wasn't clinical enough, wasn't consistent enough. That's exactly why I didn't want us to get him. I wanted someone like James Madison, but
Oof.
we gave you 65 mil. We literally refunded you the money that you paid for him in the first place. So, what's your thoughts? What was your initial thoughts on him at Chelsea? And do you think he's going to work out at a different side like Arsenal?
Um, First part, yeah, I was more shocked than I was happy. Not because I wanted him to stay at Chelsea, because like as you said, 3 years, you're not cutting it. Like I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Like if he had maybe put him in his natural role, like as a 10, because we kept using
Mm.
him as either as like a I think as a left winger and no right winger or a false nine. We never really played it with the 10 role because that wasn't Tuchel's style. Um, and yeah, so that's why I was surprised. Like Arteta really had Kroenke spend um, almost what we paid for. I think all except for like maybe 5 million back from what we spent at Leverkusen or to Leverkusen. But so yeah, I'm happy in that sense. He can't cut it, and I think for him, really, look at the other Chelsea players who are finding success outside of England, especially in Italy. I mean, even Loftus Cheek is doing good. Pulisic is looking
Mm.
like a killer in Milan as well, and Giroud, ageless wonder, man, ageless wonder. He is still killing it. Um, and then look at his Kai Havertz's brother in Manchester. He's not really
Mm.
doing much and over there. It's like anyone who took the Chelsea poison is faltering, except for maybe Newcastle. But then again, those were kids that really didn't get marinated in the poison. And even Tino Livramento had to get purified from the Saints in Southampton to get that juju off. But yeah, it's a I just don't think Kai Havertz is meant for the Premier League. Or yeah, um, right. I think he would be better off in Germany or in Italy. And it's not saying that those are worse leagues, but just the way that they approach the game is more to the level, to the extent. And yeah, I don't know. Do you think he's doing good in your club? I mean, it's like I can only see it from the outside, but what do you see as like
Or
this is your
yeah,
club?
look. So firstly, many Arsenal fans were really divided about Kai Havertz because when we first signed him, nobody really wanted him, of course. But we have this common theme of just getting your ex players like Jorginho's at us. I mean, when we bought Willian off you, David Luiz, Petr Cech,
Even
there's
ESR too and Eddie, well, they
yeah,
were like
well, there's
academy
an academy,
players.
yeah, exactly. So there
Yeah.
we go as well. But yeah, I think the price tag was a massive, massive blow because, as I said, we could have got Madison for 40 mil. And look how he's doing right now at Tottenham. So but no, right now he's just trying what he's been trying. But to be fair, what I will give him credit is he's playing in a midfield role next to Declan Rice, which we can all see that he can't play there. All right, he's more of well, 2 times he's played well was centre forward against Man City in the Community Shield. He played really well, and also when he came on against Man City, he played that same position and he got an assist or whatever. But no, man. So far, he's not lived up to whatsoever. He's not, for me. He's not clinical enough, and he's not consistent at all. People hype him up after the Bournemouth goal. We gave him the penalty, by the way. The players on the pitch actually gave him the penalty to try and boost his confidence up. And then the next game, he goes. It was against Lens, and he drops an absolute shocker. So
Oh
for
my
me, this
god.
guy's not consistent enough. But look, it's only we're like 10 games in this season. I will give him more time, but I don't know. Wasn't that the same for you as a Chelsea fan? You're just waiting for him to get that Leverkusen player, and he never, sort of lived up to that level, did he, at Chelsea?
And it's funny because it's like he never did. I mean, yes, people love to bring up the whole yeah, but he scored the Champions League
Yeah.
winner for us to be grateful. I'm like, man, great. I say the wrong player at the wrong time because now we have this justification. And I say justification because people saying that Chelsea was the problem, Chelsea was the issue. They had the poor managers. All right, we're giving you to the team that was second best in the league. Now they're looking like could be like again a top two finish for them with a manager that looks like he has everything, like has the team clicking the way he wants to, and yet it's looking like he's only forcing him to start because they spent so much money. And I think this, finally Arteta, and people thought I was joking when I said this. I think Kai Havertz is better coming off the bench. Don't get him
Mm.
in the 11, off the bench as a false nine, going to like, and I'm saying like in the dying minutes of the games where like, because you saw how he held up the ball versus City, too, when he like you guys are timely. He might be he might look like James Charles, but at least he can stand the guard and fight back. But so that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I think his role is, and even then, like my friend here, like he's a diehard Arsenal fan. Even said like he doesn't know where to put in Kai Havertz.
Mm.
I brought this up to him, and I'm like, he's like, yeah, but then again, I think the wrong strike their club, which I don't think there's any need to bring this guy because they're justifying him as like he could be the false nine, but now he's playing as an 8. I mean, that's a big switch and roll. I mean, then again, you could say the same thing when like Saka was he a natural left back, but then
Yeah,
switch him off as a right winger, and Jesus Christ, that kid has not looked the same since. And I
yeah,
mean,
it's insane.
and that's a compliment. But yeah, it's a tough thing to see with with what Arteta really wants to use and if he needs to like start because really I don't think he should. But yeah, it's justification of that he's just a bang average player.
Yeah, 100% agree, man. All right, let's talk about this game then. London Derby, Stamford Bridge. Now, back in the day, mate, a few years ago, I mean, many Arsenal fans were very scared to play this fixture against you guys because you always beat us year in, year out at Stamford Bridge. But it's not been like that recently, man. Past 3 to 4
Mm-hmm.
games, we've been getting the better over you guys. And even when you had Thomas Tuchel and you was in, well, even when you won a Champions League that season, I think we still beat you at Stamford Bridge. So we've got a good record. Obviously, last season was a 1-0 away win for us. It was when Aubameyang came back and he was like, did all that stuff before the game, nothing personal and all that stuff. And we
Right.
ended up celebrating in front of his face. So, yeah. But no, man, obviously, what's your thoughts going into this game? And, you know, how do you think Poch is going to set up? You know, tactically wise as well. Is he going to go all guns blazing? Is he going to play like a low block or whatever? And yeah, what's your thoughts going into this game? And how confident are you that you can get a result against Arsenal, man?
For me, there was like pulling the result. Like I don't see a win, and that's what I'm saying. Like I'm keeping it honest. It's if it's a win, it's like well, we need to see like a Wolves versus City type of win. Like no one expected that, even with like missing players. It's I'm expecting and hoping for a draw, because this is going to be more of like a. I think both managers are going to come with possession mindset. That's just how what is it? Arteta approaches the game. I mean, I think you guys are averaging 60 or 70% possession
Yeah.
per game, which is crazy. So it just means that like yeah, once they have that ball in control, they're not gonna let it go unless it's they're gonna build a what was it, like a proper chance on target. And then if not, then okay, well it's either gonna be a goal kick or corner or whatever. But it's not like with how Chelsea was looking like because Pochettino does approach a possession based game and it just seemed like we even with possession like it just seemed like it was dreadful or even like we go in to make a chance and attack but we wasted like horribly but now with this game I think I think Arsenal's going to approach it with let's go with a low block versus Chelsea because that was like our biggest kryptonite right there is just we could not break a low block and then
Mm,
it's catching us on. I mean, look, I mean, I think that's how Forest beat us. And I think that's how Bournemouth managed to get like their draw, because we couldn't break and we couldn't take advantage of any chance that we built up for us. But really, it's as long as the biggest issue for us right now, or at least concern from your side, um, yeah, is any one of those Arsenal players are killers. But for me right now, is it's Martinelli because this guy is look unreal and you saw how the difference he made for when you guys played versus City. Like it looked like it was just gonna be like a, I would say like a it was I was like boring but like uneventful game. Where it was gonna be like a no. But once he came on, I was like, I have a feeling that they're gonna score like in any minute. And I think I even said it in the group chat where I'm like, why does it look like Arsenal's about to score in extra time? Like, and then 1 minute later after I said that, he's like, I think he scored the 88th. I'm like, well, I think he beat me to it. And then I'm like, it's you see it coming, like you see it, like they're gonna make any chance come up, even if it's off a deflection. Don't matter. It's again,
mm,
end of the day, 3 points. It's not City's fault that they were without arguably two of their key players like KDB and Rodri. But with us, yeah, we don't have those type of level players right now. Even though we could be like in form, uh, it all depends on one who's going to be marking Martinelli, and it's looking like it's Gusto. Because Reece James, I would give that guy maybe 40 minutes before he picks up another injury. Honestly,
yeah.
like this guy is just a healthy Reece James. I'm like, that's a pit bull on Martinelli, and it's hard to break. But you know what? Malo Gusto, he has good experience versus a type of Martinelli, which back in France, I think he had good games versus Kylian Mbappe, and it's like that's no like farmers league type of player too. But yeah, so it's gonna be interesting to see, but I don't think it's gonna be too much of a high scoring affair. But it's just gonna be more of a game of who scores first. Because if you guys score first, I don't think we're gonna catch you guys off that, because then you guys control. We would have to hope for you guys to make a mistake, and Arsenal have been near flawless or mistake free in the whole season so far, outside of cup competition. Because we see what happened with Lens. But even if you see that game off of poor ball distribution from the
Yeah.
goalkeepers, maybe Kai Havertz, still adjusting to the team or just playing in a role he's not comfortable with. But if you have the likes of Rice, Odegaard, and Partey in the midfield, those guys know each other already. Rice is already settled in wonderfully in Arsenal. Um, it's just, is Arteta going to start them three? Because again, he for some reason starts Kai Havertz or Jorginho in midfield. And I'm not sure if he sees something that we don't, but it just seems like it's baffling.
Yeah. With the midfield, we're not playing because we haven't seen Declan Rice and Party yet since Community Shield. He's either played
Mhm.
Jorginho or Kai Havertz next to Declan Rice, and even you can see it as a Chelsea fan, and every Arsenal fan can see it, but this manager can't see it. So look, if he plays Jorginho against you, then you definitely have a better chance of winning. With all due respect, because look, no disrespect to Jorginho, I think he's done well at Arsenal, but when
Right.
we have Thomas Party in there, it's a whole different game. Party and Rice in that midfield, Odegaard in front. And I think that'll be a key battle. Obviously, you have Caicedo playing there, and let me say something
Mhm.
about Caicedo. He always turns up against Arsenal. Even when he was at Brighton, yeah, he played right back against us, and,
Mhm.
and he's man of the match at right back. And when they beat us 3-0 last season, and he always seems to turn up against Arsenal, obviously. And then you'll play, I think, Enzo with him as well. And then
Right.
will it be Conor Gallagher in front of them?
Seeing how Poch favors Conor Gallagher, yeah, which is a shame because you can say like that spot should go to Cole Palmer, but I wouldn't be surprised if he starts Palmer on the right or brings him in the second half, because you see people are saying that Sterling is going to play with a chip on his shoulder because of Southgate's idiocy. I don't know where he's saying with Southgate, but I think this guy is just. I think England can finally win like a big trophy, with the new manager. Which, if I mean, I know this is going to start to a whole different conversation, but honestly, would you rather keep Southgate or see if Jose Mourinho goes to England?
Personally, mate. So I support Italy, by the way, because I'm half Italian, yeah.
Oh,
But
okay.
my thoughts in England, yeah, they need to bin Southgate. They need to bin Southgate off, my friend, yeah, because I've seen what their fans say. I mean, there's a player in Arsenal called obviously Ben White, yeah.
Mhm.
He's been one of the best right backs last season, right, in the Premier League. Quality for us. He's not even getting picked up whatsoever. Maybe they had a falling out or something, but that don't make sense. But yeah, if England get Jose Mourinho, because look at England's squads, it's mad. Like the players have got, we saw. I was annoyed but Jude Bellingham, absolutely world class player,
Oh my
absolutely
god.
bossed us on Tuesday night, whenever it was. They've got
Mhm.
Bellingham and Declan Rice in the midfield. They've got Madison in front of them. They've got the Harry Kane up front. They've got Saka on the wing. Foden. The squad's insane. But the manager, which is why, and you've seen when England gets to like the big competitions, they always seem to flop. Because I think that's down to Southgate. So if England needs to act fast, especially with the Euros coming up as well, they can get Jose Mourinho in. I think they're definitely hot favourites to win the whole thing, man. But yeah,
It's gonna be a you know who's not gonna be excited for Southgate leaving?
who's that?
Harry Maguire. This is the only time he sees minutes.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
Mm.
he always gets picked for England, and Mourinho, he comes into England, absolute no chance. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, man. So, just quickly give your Chelsea lineup, like what you want to see come up against Arsenal.
Um, I'm guessing I want to go with the 4-2-3-1, but I think what Poch is gonna go with a 4-3-3, and of course Sanchez in goal. and then the right back situation is where everyone's keeping an eye on because of James's quote unquote setback. And even if he was like fit to play, I wouldn't start him right away because we're rushing him back off an injury again. And like I said, with this, I just see him as it's gonna be a waste of a substitution within halftime.
Mm.
And then so I'm gonna say Malo Gusto, and that's gonna be
Ooh.
I think this is where his name is gonna be either made or broken. I was gonna say braked, because like I said, Big Test Martinelli on that side of the field. That's not an easy. It's not an easy opponent. Center back pairing is gonna be Silva and Disasi. I think he's back from injury, or if whatever he picked up before the call or the international break. And then left back is going to be Caldwell, which I know a lot of people are probably going to want Caldwell to be playing as a left center back instead. But I'm not going to trust Kukurea versus Saka, even an injured Saka. I'm not sure if he is playing, if he's heard anything about.
Arteta is you know what Arteta is? He keeps being so hidden in press conferences. So
Mm,
last week he said he's in contention, and then he didn't play against Man City. This week he said the same thing. So there is a chance that he might not feature, but obviously Southgate didn't pick him. Well, he withdrew from the England squad for 2 weeks. So
right.
yeah, as you said, even half fit Saka against Cucurella, it's curtains in
Mm.
it. So
It is. That's what I'm saying. Caldwell, I want to see that. That would be a good matchup. The youth of England versus each other. Um, and then for midfield, like you said, we're gonna go with Caicedo, Fernandez. They both came back to the squad late after qualifiers. Um, and then Conor Gallagher is most likely going to start in the midfield three. And then on the wings, Mudryk finally picking up his goal for international and coming off. I think he scored. Did he score club level?
he scored against Fulham, didn't he?
Fulham. Fulham. I don't remember him scoring against Burnley, but it was Fulham. And then the guy the chip on his shoulder is Sterling, and then Jackson up top, which is gonna be interesting because I saw that Broja is not playing tomorrow or is fit enough to even be on the bench. So
Mm.
that's a big miss on the attack. We'll see what is it Pochettino does in that type of sense because without Broja, who the hell is going to be playing up striker? I mean, if once we had to take out Nico Jackson because that's another guy that is either going to be a yellow card substitution where he's just coming off a 1 game suspension, and then what is it? And he has a wrist injury.
Oh,
So
I see.
that or he had like some surgery. I don't know. It's he's something he picked up in the Brighton game, but that's what I think the 11 is going to be. And and for your
Did,
11,
did you say Did you say just quick Sterling on the right or on the left for you guys?
he would have to play on the right
On
because
the
Mudryk
right.
because Mudryk is usually as a left winger for us.
Do you know what it is with Sterling, man? I think he's been in. I don't know what you think about him this season, but I think he's been doing all right. And I'm worried about Zinchenko on that. And I'll give my lineup in a minute, but I'm worried about Zinchenko on left back against Sterling, yeah, because
They know each
Zinchenko,
other.
and Zinny defensively is very very poor. He's very good going forward, but with the ball at his feet as well, he's very good. But defensively, he's very suspect. So against Sterling, I think it'd be a hard day for him if you put him on the right hand side. But yeah, Mudryk on the left. I hope we don't start because you know what's going to happen. It's written in the stars for him. The player that Arsenal wanted, it starts and we end up conceding, and he'll end up probably scoring. But yeah, he's been on some good form, hasn't he? He obviously scored his first goal for you guys. Scored in for Ukraine, scored a really good goal to be fair against. I know it's Malta,
Oh,
but
yeah, it
he
was
seems to have
Malta.
confidence now as well. So who knows? Maybe he's going to kick on. But yeah, my lineup for me, we've had this whole goalkeeper situation. I don't know if you've heard about it. Ramsdale,
Yeah,
Raya. I mean,
yeah.
in your opinion, who do you think is a better goalkeeper, Raya or Ramsdale, or do you think they're good as each other?
Honestly, like I think Ransom got way too much hate, and that's just me. And I think that's sympathy points because of like because me like playing as a goalkeeper, I it
Mm,
hits me like a soft spot. Like like yes, both of them. You guys can even say like oh, we bought him because of the ball distribution. He was good at that at Brentford. Look how he's been. Like you said, he costed you the win versus what is it, Lons?
yeah.
Uh, and he looks questionable with his ball distribution too. Like he doesn't look all like he's prone to making a bad pass. I mean, then again, Sanchez, for us, we see how he. I think he was still in his Brighton days when we played him because so many passes went straight to the Brighton attack in that cup game. But with Raya, like I just didn't think there was a need to buy him. I get that there's a
Mm,
competition. Competition is always good, but it's just looking like Ramsdale is the same way, or I think Ramsdale's looking at it the same way as ESR is for you guys, where he's not getting, he's not justified for like for the lack of playing time he's getting. And I know that Ramsdale, he's. Are you guys even using him for cup competition?
he's played one game in the Carabao Cup, not even Champions League though. It's just Raya's been Champions League, Premier League.
So that's Rams. I mean, that's no goalkeepers is too oblivious to that. They're gonna be like they're already planning to get rid of me, like a type of thing.
Yeah,
So that's I think he's already considering his Arsenal days over unless what is it Raya picks up an injury or suspension or whatever it may be. But yeah, I think that there was no need to go for him and then create this problem and for your goalkeepers. But which I would rather start Ramsdale. If I
mm,
was putting an 11 together and you give me those two, I start Ramsdale. Even though yes, he does make some questionable decisions or his positioning isn't all that great. Um, the saves that this guy makes on a just cause is unreal. Like that was a steal for a goalkeeper signing. It's almost like I think the only one right now that was more of a surprise, at least to me, was Vicario for Spurs
yeah,
because I don't think anyone took that guy seriously. But then look at the hype that Onana came in,
yeah.
and oh, it's just beautiful. It's beautiful to see. Oh, it's so good. Oh, just when it rains, it pours, and that's out of Manchester. But it's I don't. I mean, that's where I stand with Ramsdale. Like, I think it was unnecessary. I think it was, and especially too. Didn't you guys just give him like a contract renewal in the
Yeah, we
summer or
did.
before the summer?
Yeah, literally before the summer as well. And just like that, new goalkeeper comes in and he's been benched ever since. But yeah, I think Rye's been very shaky, man. The past couple of games, even against Man City, like he kept a clean sheet. But I don't know if you saw Alvarez almost tackled him from because he was holding on the ball and he looked nervous. His distribution was poor, and I think
Hmm.
that's because he knows he's number one now. Because it's clear that Arteta rates him over Ramsdale at the moment, so he
Hmm.
knows that he's got to step up. Otherwise, if he makes a mistake, then who knows? Ramsdale will be back, hopefully back in the team. Um, but yeah, no, I reckon he'll go with Raya against winners against you guys.
Yeah.
Then the back four will play Ben White right back.
Hmm.
Um, he's been quality for us, man. He's been absolute
Oh yeah.
quality. Um, then we go centre backs called Gabriel and Saliba. Saliba had a little foot injury, but I think he'll be fine.
Mm.
Hopefully. So yeah, Saliba and Gabriel, two centre backs, have been unbelievable for us. Uh,
Saliba especially. Oh my
yeah,
god.
Saliba is insane, man. It's unbelievable. But yeah, then obviously left back. I will go Zinchenko, but I hear when people say go Tomiyasu because Tomiyasu played there against Liverpool last season and pocketed Mo Salah. Um,
Hmm.
and he's better defensively than Zinchenko, but I will go Zinchenko. I
Yeah.
think we need him we need his creativity going forward against you guys. And then midfield, I don't know if we'll do this, but this is what I'll do. Partey, Declan Rice, Martin Odegaard. Arteta will most likely go Declan Rice, probably Havertz, and then Odegaard. But we need to go Partey, Rice, and Odegaard. And then the front three is going to be, I will play Saka, but, it's 50-50 of him at the moment. If not Saka, then it's going to have to be probably maybe Reece Nelson on that win. So I reckon Cole will have a little field day if Nelson's on there. But if Saka's on there, then I think it'd be a very good battle. Then obviously left hand side will be Martinelli, and then striker will be Gabriel Jesus. He's not even been playing striker for us. He's been playing on the right hand side, on like the right wing, which I don't like him there. I think 2 games he scored this season, he's played down the middle as a striker, and that was both Champions Leagues against PSV and Lens. So hopefully Arteta does play Jesus down the middle against you guys. But yeah, that'll be my lineup, man. And I'll be honest, I'm very confident. I'm very confident. I think, and look, I ain't gonna sit there and say we're gonna batter you because it's London derby. It's gonna be for me a very, very tight game. And I'm also not underestimating you guys as well. I'm not underestimating Chelsea because you guys are on some good. Well, I know it's teams who you're expected to beat, but you're on some good form at the moment. You're like fourth. I mean, the game against Brighton, Carabao Cup, everyone's hyping up the Derby, and you guys beat Brighton, who are a very, very good side. Obviously Fulham, and then you hit 4 past Burnley. You guys are on a good run of form, and we're going to end it, obviously. And but yeah, I'm very confident, man. I do think we will win. Quick score predictions. I'm gonna go. You know what? We got this thing of keeping clean sheets away from home, so I'm gonna go clean sheet away from home once again. It seems like our home form has changed because our home form we can see goals left, right, and center, but away it's been different. So I'm gonna go with a 2-0 away win for the Gunners, man. I'm very confident. But yeah, what do you think, man? I know you said a draw, but yeah, score prediction for you, bro.
Yeah, it's gonna be. It was interesting too when you pointed it out that like I was thinking like who else is gonna be playing left back if it's not Zinchenko, and then yeah, you said Tomiyasu, which could work, but I think if it is Zinchenko, I'm wondering if I don't know why Thomas Partey wouldn't start because then if it does shift where like Zinchenko does need to go into the midfield and provide that more of a natural role that he's in, they can do that whole thing with Partey coming down and playing right back and have the line shift, kind of like what Pochettino does with Ben Chilwell. But we'll see what he does because I'm just trying to think like how are they going to approach it if they don't start Partey. And but yeah, if Arsenal score first, this is going to be a clean sheet win for Arsenal because, like I said, this team is not going to. Chelsea's not meant to chase for a win. Even though they did that versus Burnley, it's again, we're supposed to win that game. Arsenal are not ones to make mistakes like Burnley. But if Chelsea were to score first, and again, with a side that we haven't beaten since 2019 in our own field, our own pitch, our own home, I would see us holding a draw at that. If we were to get one, I would see Arsenal getting one by even like late in the second half if it came to it. And it should be a deflection as well again. But yeah, I want to know if it were to be a draw, what does that mean? How would you take that as like for Arsenal after coming off a win and versus City and starting this gap? Because right now you're joint first with Spurs, even though they're first in by goal differential. But would this be some type of worry if you were to drop points to a Chelsea side that's still in this project?
I think in the sense it would. I think this game for us is a must win, because Tottenham, as you said, Tottenham above us on goal difference. They got a game against Fulham on Monday. They're most certainly going to win that. Man City, if they beat Brighton, then they're back. Well, I think they got above us if we lose and we beat Brighton. So we'll end up being third. I think, we want to win the league title, man. We saw them last season. We're 8 points clear and we capitulated and we won no trophies, right? This season, it cannot be anything like that. We have to go compete for the league title again. Only go and win it. It'll be tough, but you got to win these games. And we got to make a statement going away to Stamford Bridge as well. And as I said, I ain't going to underestimate you guys. But yeah, I think it's a must-win game, in my opinion, bro.
Yeah, so if it isn't like a win, would you see like that might be your season? Because I know with this league you have to be near flawless because that's what you guys were last season, but because it wasn't flawless, it costed the league because with City and how Pep has City running, that's what you have to be, no mistakes at all. So if any points are dropped from this weekend, would that be a worry or is that you still fine with title contention?
I think no. I think if we do drop points, I'm not gonna be happy, to be honest. And I don't think many fans. Yeah, I don't think many fans will be, to be honest. I think fans will be definitely disappointed. But this is the thing. Which I look at it, right. I'm not jumping too early. Oh, we beat Man City, we're gonna win the league. At the same time, I'm still like, if we do lose a game, it happens. It's football. I wouldn't call anything just yet. I think it's very early on in the season. And as I said, the point is we were 8 points clear last season. It's on our hands, man. And that was our best time to do it. You know, we haven't won a league title in 20 years, man. So that was our best time to do it last season. So I do hear what you're saying. Yeah, you know, Man City are ruthless. You know, we were ruthless for the majority of games last season. You know, we was almost unstoppable. You know, because against teams we would. This has been this season. We're getting results this season, yeah, and we're unbeaten still this season. But the performance-wise, they've dropped in a sense. Not like last season. Last season, performance-wise, we're up here. You know, we were scoring early goals. We're killing off games early. It's not been like that this season. But what we'll say is we have been getting results. So I don't mind if we play really bad, as long as you get the results. It's all that matters, right? So yeah, I think I'm not going to jump to the gun yet. Even if we lose to you guys, we're going to be very disappointed. We'll probably all be angry, all ranting and all that stuff if we lose to Chelsea. But I ain't going to say the season's over yet because I think there's still a long way to go. We've got to play Man City again as well. But yeah, that's my opinion on it, man.
All right, cool. I was wanting to say because like this is a lot of people are saying like this could be like make or break for Pochettino. I was like, yeah, it's true, it is, and I see it that way. But if the result does come in favor for Chelsea, and like I'm not going to be like unrealistic. Like, look, I'm for any Chelsea fans, I think like this is a win, like a for sure win. I'm like, okay. Now is there a chance that we can win? Yeah, of course. I mean, there's always going to be some type of chance, but for me, it's just like, yeah, what I think this means more for you guys than it would be for us because you know they're gonna label us like still like, oh, Chelsea's so early in the project, as first year with Poch, um, opposed to like you guys, like I said, with this, you guys are starting the gap right now with City, and you know, realistically, them and Liverpool as like the real top contenders. I'm not taking that away from Spurs, but then again, who is they really beat? And I'm not just honestly like you know I think all their wins came from bottom half sides. Did not.
Yeah, yeah.
Or I think all relegation sides,
All
especially they got
relegation
all
sides,
three.
yeah.
So I wouldn't say like it's like they're gonna be there for like on top for a while, but you never know with Ange and especially Madison. But anyways, so yeah, so you know, with this gap being built, you can you know keep this going because this was the best time to do it. Now that Rodri is gone and Kevin De Bruyne, I think, is out until December or for the season,
Yeah.
uh, for a while. So you know, as long as those two remain out, it's like it's yours for the taking, and it's so that's why I just thought of like I think the more pressures for the Arsenal. But right now, I know Poch is feeling that fire because you know this is the start of the run of fixtures that you know I'm sure 3 games ago we were dreading to. We might not see. I kept saying we might not see a win until Sheffield. Um, look at that whole list, and now I'm like, okay, I feel I had some confidence with Arsenal. Not like you know saying to win level confidence, but like you know we're gonna put up a fight confidence. I still want to get some at least a point. But I'm not as worried about Brentford anymore. I'm not worried about Brighton anymore. I'm not worried about United, especially. But of course, like with Newcastle, Spurs, and City coming up, those are the ones like okay, you know
Mm.
that's the big issue. But so I mean, I think there's that confidence and like that you know feel good with this streak going. But yeah, it might not be a win, but hopefully we get a point going. That's all I'm hoping for. Just yeah, it might be the same thing from last year too, where it was just a 1-0 win off a set piece. I think from
Yeah.
set piece corner. And we were conceding from set pieces left and right last season. But yeah, it's I think now you see like some progress. I mean, shoot, we went from 12th to 11th progress. But it's yeah, 1-1. We'll see what happens, and then yeah, I'll
Mhm.
be back to talk about it if you're down to do one.
Yeah, of course, man. Look, man, it's been an absolute pleasure. I want to thank you so much for taking your time out to come on the channel today. Just quickly shout your channel once again. You know what you got coming up, any content wise, and also other social medias people can find you as well, man.
Yeah, I have a stream coming up with an Arsenal fan, the Aussie Gooner, great channel. Definitely check him out if you haven't already subscribed. But that'll be coming up at 7:30 p.m. UK time. And then the channel you can find me at, the Keeping It Real Chelsea. With it's me, CFCOG, Chelsea, CFC Deals. I'm sorry, and Latimer's Prime. We're trying to do more streams throughout the week. You know, now that we have more people on the channel. And yeah, same thing on Instagram or even on Twitter or X, or if you want to call it, Keeping It Real Chelsea. I actually don't know the fucking Twitter handle for the Chelsea one because it wouldn't fit, but I'll send it to you either way, Instagram or YouTube. That's where you can find me at. And thank you again for having me on here, man. It was good to be back here.
No worries at all, man. You're always welcome. And yeah, look, may the best team win for tomorrow. And yeah, guys, we're out of here. They'll be watched on the channel tomorrow. Match reaction, player ratings, calling show as well. So hit like buttons up, guys. You haven't already. And we're out of here. Come on, the Gunners. Thanks for watching, guys.
Peace.